good? What's good, brother? How you feeling, bro?
Man, I'm good, I'm grooving. How it feel to be out here on this lovely Wednesday?
Feels good. I'm a little overdressed because we in Houston. It's about 82 degrees outside, and I got a hoodie on. I didn't know it was gonna be this hot. Coming from the East Coast like that, but it's all good. It's a
Okay,
nice day outside.
okay,
We
cool.
had some good interviews today, so I'm loving the vibes.
You already know I've been asking everybody why people pick Texas Southern University, but what make you pick your institution?
Bowie State. I just think it was just for me. It was just more. For me, it was just more. It was close to home. I did not want to stay on campus. So I was a commuter. So I lived in Bowie at the time. Bowie State was like maybe 10 minutes for me. So, and then plus they had a good program there for the business. So pick Bowie, home team.
Okay. So what did you learn from Bowie State College?
Learned a whole lot, man. Made some lifelong friends. Was able to network a lot. Just going to Bowie State and taking classes up there. Learning how to move in the real world. Some of what you learn in class, a lot of times doesn't translate to what you're going to go through in the real world in corporate America. But definitely some of my courses I took there helped me with the transition into the real world.
Okay. So what make you pick business as your major?
Business, I mean, I was never into science, something like that. And I was always good with money. I was always business minded, always want to do my own thing. So that's why I'm in business. When I was in school, I was selling cars. I was selling cars, going to the auction, buying cars. So for me, it only made sense. Okay, if you're doing your own business as it is, why don't you just get the education?
Okay. Now, since you went for business,
hmm
you got a business yourself?
Yeah, I got several businesses actually. Uh,
What's your number one business then?
my number one business would be the hair salon. We just started, me and my lady. It's called Salon Culture. It's in College Park, Maryland, right in the midst of UMD, on Route 1. So we have suites and we have booths for rent. If you're a stylist, esthetician, anything beauty related, uh, we want to have you. All right. So that's the first business. Second business, I have a clothing line called Living Legends Fashion. All right. It's urban apparel, and also we have luxury as well. So unfortunately, I don't have anything on for my brand right now. Typically, I do. I didn't know I was gonna go on camera.
1962, what is that?
I can show you, but I can tell you. So right behind me, you see our tree, G5G. That's the name of our organization. Is Groove 5 Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated. Groove 5 Groove Social Fellowship Incorporated. I had to slow it down for you real quick because people said I talk too fast. So I'm sure you got it that time. We were founded in 1962, as my hoodie says. And we're just here to mentor, do scholarships. Our primary goal is to help young folks. You know, assimilate into life, coming from college. That's our main goal.
Okay. Why do you think it's so necessary to have a black institution?
That's a good question. I think it's good to have all institutions, but your question in particular is for black institutions. Uh, you know, it's good for folks to feel comfortable. Not to say I'm not comfortable around other races, but also learning in your own way from people that just look like you and can actually, you know, um, have the same kind of thought process. It's good to learn from someone like that. I tell you, one example I had going to Bowie State University. We had one Caucasian. This story, I never forget this. We had one Caucasian professor that taught African American studies. All right, so there's a Caucasian teaching African American studies at the HBCU. Cool, no problem. I took it with a African American professor, and I heard students in the other classes, complaining that this particular professor would refer to slaves as indentured servants. Okay, so that's a big problem. Slaves is one thing. Indentured servants is a whole nother thing. All right. So, but the professor in particular didn't like using the word slavery. He liked using indentured servant. Everyone that knows anything about history knows indentured servant were the white folks that were not rich, they were poor, but got paid for the work. And they weren't forced to do any kind of work. Slavery were black folks that didn't get paid. They were just used over and over and again. So that's just one big example of what I would say. I can imagine if a Caucasian professor was teaching that way at a HBCU, how would they teach African American studies at a PWI? You know, so that's one example I was that stood out to me over time.
Okay. So if before we leave, what is one thing you want to let the world know why you should not quit on yourself?
I'll say this: if you quit on yourself, you know, you're only gonna have yourself to blame, because we're here in this world and we're not alone. Everything you're going through, I can guarantee you, everything that you're going through, somebody else that you know has been through it, but you might not know because you don't speak enough, right? Sometimes you just got to reach out, talk, connect with people. That's why networking is very important. If you go to a school, I don't care if it's a PWI, HBCU, whatever kind of school you go to, make sure you network and talk to the right folks, people that are like-minded just like yourself. And I can guarantee you're going to find people that are in the same space as you. Maybe you're looking for a job. You might not know someone that actually is in your field. You get what I'm saying? You go through some certain kind of issues in life, maybe something personal, but if you don't speak up, you don't get help, you know, or if you're going to run a business, you know. I know I made a lot of mistakes in some of my businesses, but I had to learn, you know, sometimes you got to just talk to people that are already in those spaces, so that way you don't have to make the same mistake that they might have made, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I have a lot of young group brothers. I see them, every time I see them doing something, I'm like, you know what? Young G, you know, I did it this way the first time, but it kind of beat me in the back. So, you know, you might want to, you know, tighten up and do it this way.
And that's what's happening.
G.